The Sentinel is known to be reliable, fearless, disciplined, consistent, courageous, motivated, and skillful.
So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances.
All these qualities start from the mind. Your mind can be your worst enemy or your most powerful weapon.
The world becomes your library to help you become better at your craft.
Is this the dagger?
Learn how to achieve greatness and tap into the Sentinel mindset.
This episode is brought to you by The Arena. The Arena focuses on helping law enforcement and security professionals achieve their ultimate work experience, curriculum, and fitness goals. Visit thearenatoronto.com.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this amazing, amazing day. I'm very, very happy because the guest that I have here today is a service that I've been trying to, get a hold of, and it just so happens that I saw them at the Blue Line Expo, and I'm very happy today because we have Constable Prash Niranjan from the O.P.P. And for those that are listening, the O.P.P. stands for Ontario Provincial Police. How are you doing today, Prash?
I'm good, Constantine. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me and having the O.P.P. represent here today. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Amazing. The one thing I'll say this is that the O.P.P. has always, from my circles, have had this reputation of being like the coolest service. Like,
I think
you guys are all in black. You got the cool vehicles.
The black and whites, I'd say it's probably the best looking police we go. I'm a bit biased, but I'd say that.
Nice, man. For yourself, when you were looking at getting into a service, did you have the O.P.P. as one of your top choices?
Yeah, you know what? When I was looking to get onto a police service, obviously, coming here, immigrating from Sri Lanka when I was about 10. When I showed up to Canada, my first exposure to policing was in my school. They had school resource officers.
Yeah.
So I would see Toronto police officers there, and I had my interactions with them. And right off the bat, I think as a child, first thing that you really resonate with is just the way they look, right? Just that look kind of resonates with you, and I just thought they looked really cool, man. And that's what really triggered it for me. But as I grew up, as I was getting older and graduated. High school, I was thinking about what I wanted to do for a career.
Right.
And I knew I liked engaging with people, talking to people, and I knew I didn't want to be behind a desk in an office space somewhere. So I was trying to think about what type of career I wanted to pursue, and it was either going to be a police officer or a teacher. Because you interact with so many teachers growing up, and that kind of I had some amazing teachers that set me in the right path. But by the time I graduated and I went to York University, did my BA there. I started really thinking about what I wanted to do for a career, and policing was it. And even when we started off, we talked about a colleague that we know, working at the Royal Ontario Museum, at the Air Canada Centre, all these different places when it comes to the security experience that I felt I needed to be a police officer. It really kind of set me on a path of wanting to be in the law enforcement line. And I did my research in terms of what service I want to work for, and I always found myself coming back to the O.P.P.
Okay.
I actually never applied to any of the police service. I just applied to the O.P.P. I'm not saying that that's what you should do. You should apply to any service that really resonates with you in terms of what you want to do. If they speak to you, you should apply for them. But for me, it just always, I felt like I was always coming back to the O.P.P.
Okay.
So I only applied to the O.P.P. And
you came so you came here at the age of 10.
Yeah.
And I guess when your family moved in here, like many, they came in for just more opportunities.
Just a better life. Just to have the opportunity to have a great life. Obviously, in my country, there was a civil war going on at that time.
Right.
My parents just didn't feel safe there and just wanted to give their kids and themselves an opportunity to be successful in life. And I'm happy they did that because here I am living out my dream.
Okay, that's so
as
amazing.
As a police officer,
man.
yeah, it's
Can you recall or remember, like when you first may have had this like almost like conviction that this is what I want to do?
It's funny because my mom actually showed me a picture of me when I was in 3 or 4, wearing a police officer suit, a police officer uniform, back in my home country there.
Yeah.
And I kind of look back on it and chuckle a little bit because I don't know, something even within me when I didn't even realize. Clearly, there was something within me that kind of led me to it, right?
You got to get that photo.
I got to get that photo. I think it'd be hilarious if you look at that photo. But I will get that to you. But I think when I graduated to high school, I was pretty certain this is what I wanted to pursue because at that point I knew a bit about myself. I knew what I liked and what I didn't like, and I want to kind of give back a little bit too. Like I want to give back to the community. I want to work with the community, and I felt like my personality was good for that. So I'm glad I pursued it, and like what I do now, it's beyond my wildest dream. I just want to be a police officer, do the daily role of what a police officer does, but I never thought I'd be a recruiter, hiring the future for the organization.
Wow.
So this is like beyond my wildest dreams. And, we get to meet many wonderful people like yourselves, that are in the same line of work of producing the best product for that line of work. So
Yeah.
it's been an amazing ride. And obviously, we'll chat about some of the different things that we have coming on, and it's going to come up in this next couple of weeks and months and so on. So, but yeah, no, that was definitely something that kind of takes me back when I sit and talk about, where I started to where I am today. But OPP was certainly where I wanted. And, sometimes you don't know what a service is all about till you get in, because, you hear stories, but you really don't know until you actually get on with them. So I'm going into my 10th year now.
Okay.
And it's been an amazing ride. Like
So good.
the opportunities, the ability to do different things. It's been just superb. Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So, so you had this feeling, this is where you need to go. And what I think also we can also tie this into is preparation.
Yeah.
So you did a lot of jobs that could be very relatable to this kind of line of work, but more so you did these jobs that would help you come up with some great experiences that you can articulate to a recruiter. Tell me about a time that you were able to de-escalate or do this.
Yeah.
For yourself, how important is it for somebody listening right now that wants to be a police officer, that in order for them to prepare themselves for the small, and I say the small is, I always say this to our organization, what you do with the small will determine how well you do with the large or the big, right?
Yeah.
So if you're being put in environments right now and you need to showcase what you can do, how should you be looking at the work right now from a small level to prepare yourself for policing?
I think there's so many things you can do. If your end goal is to be a police officer or even get into the law enforcement realm, like whether it's being a special constable with TTC or even the security field, there's so many security jobs that you can do with different fields. I think if you focus on even some of the things that we talk about when we look for specific things in our recruits, we look for leadership attributes, we look for communication skills, we look for the ability for you to be able to articulate why you're doing what you're doing, like very, very small things, or working in a team environment, because those are the type of skill sets that it's going to probably set you up for success. And you don't have to wait to practice these skills, no matter what job you're doing, whether it's volunteering, whether you're in school or in your own life. If you can focus on, taking on a role, trying to do the best you can with it, try to lead people, those are the type of skill sets that you're going to probably use when you get into the role of a police officer. Because even in our interviews, we're asking competency type of questions. Tell us about a time where you showed teamwork. Tell us about a time where you showed leadership attributes. Like, these are different things that we're going to be asking about you. And you don't have to get into a bigger role to get those experiences. You can probably start no matter where you are right now to kind of work on that. And then eventually you will build up to the point where you're probably going to be very proficient at it. You know what I mean? It's probably going to help you. So, if you look at the 10 different areas that we always preach and talk about when it comes to the OPP's hiring methods, if you go on opp.ca/careers, you'll see a pie chart of all these 10 different areas. If you can even pick a few of those and start working on it slowly, it will eventually, I think, set you on the path that will probably give you success down the line.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So.
Tell me, what should the attitude be for someone looking to enter the service?
So, again, policing, especially in this day and age, is a very challenging career to get into. I think you have to have the right mindset. You have to have really good skills in terms of customer service skills, because essentially that's one of the things that we're doing. We're dealing with customers, we're dealing with the public, we're servicing their requests. So I think you have to have a bit of patience. You have to have good communication skills. You have to be able to talk to people and really try to understand what their needs are. Right? You have to be able to listen. You got to be able to listen to what their needs are. And I think if you look at it from an open mindset concept, and really approaching it without really focusing on one thing, just being open to having different ideas that you can pursue to resolve a problem, I think that's what we're looking for. And we want people with different skill sets. We're not looking for a cookie cutter type of individual. Like, we're not looking for somebody the same thing every single time. We want people with different experiences. We want people that maybe never even thought about law enforcement at all. Maybe you have skill sets in trades, we want you. Like, we really want you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the policing aspect, we can train you in all that. You know, at the Interior Police College, at the Provincial Police Academy, we will train you in all that stuff. But the motivation, the humanistic elements of what you bring to this role, those things we can't teach you. Your integrity, your passion, your energy, we can't teach you any of that stuff. But if you have that, and if you think you can make a difference and try something that's challenging but yet rewarding, OPP.ca, come on over.
100%. I love this. I'll tell you something right now. We have very similar messaging in our organization. So we have people that come to us all the time, and they'll say things like, I don't have any security experience. And we're like, that's fine. There's two things that we really put a lot of emphasis on, is that having humility, right? And also being able to demonstrate good work ethic, and are you a good human being? Are you of good character?
Yeah.
These things are important to us. Are you a good human being?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these are things that we put so much value on that. Sure, you may have your gun license, big deal. We want to find out, how do you treat people, right?
Yeah.
So this is amazing that you have that. For a lot of people listening that are looking at entering a police service, the one different unique thing about the OPP compared to, like, let's say other services or the GTA, is that you guys take care of the province.
Yes.
Okay. And you don't take care of the province in every realm. There's a specialty of realms that you do. Can you highlight what the OPP does and literally how they navigate around the province? And
and especially, like, for example, if you look at the GTA,
Yes.
You'll probably see the OPP, but we police the 400 series highways. And sometimes I share this example in a quick nutshell. In the GTA, we have many municipal services that police their own communities, such as York, Durham, Toronto, Halton, all these are Peel, right? So the OPP, there's no requirement for us to step in and to police that region. But if you go outside of the GTA, OPP is the primary policing service for many communities beyond the GTA, because
Right.
Either the communities aren't large enough or they don't have a budget big enough to afford their own police service. OPP will step in and provide the policing service for them. And we have over 150 detachments across the province. One of the things that it makes me chuckle. Some of the other services might say, hey, if you apply to the OPP, you're going to get posted somewhere else. You're not going to be able to stay home or close to home. And, it's not like that for us. We really try to work with our candidates to make sure that, they're given a posting that is part of their choosing. Because we understand people have, families and commitments, things that they value, and we want to make sure we set them up for success. So when you apply with us, certainly we will look at all the 6 detachments that you pick yourself as a candidate, and we will work to make sure you get one of those 6 postings. So that way we're setting you up for success. But yeah, getting back to your initial question there, within the GTA, you'll probably see us on the 400 cities highways. But if you go beyond the GTA, certainly we are the primary policing service for many, many smaller communities and big communities around in the province. But we still help municipal services in the GTA when it comes to major investigations. But we certainly let them do their thing, and certainly work. It's more of a partnership than anything else, really. Yeah.
Okay. Now, is there any specialty divisions within the OPP, for example, like outside of enforcing the 4 major highways? What would be some other things that they would tap into? Yeah.
So when you start off as a frontline constable, you're always going to be starting off in a frontline role, and whether it's in the GTA or beyond the GTA, you're first trying to learn the bread and butter of what the role is to be a police officer. And I find usually officers, they wait around the 3 to 5 year mark to get
before
there.
They jump in,
before they jump into any sort of specialties. And I think that's a great segue in terms of what's happening in terms of what we're collaborating with you for the Police Week, 2023 Police Week that we're working on, because that's exactly what we want to show. We want to show what you will be exposed to as a frontline officer when you start off, but also the other specialties and opportunities that you'll have within the specialized units, because we want to make sure that they're also there at this event to get people to be exposed to what possibilities are out there.
That's right.
So I'm very excited about that.
And it's very common that, just like other services, that you have to do your 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st classes first before you're eligible to start going.
Yeah, like most people I find, usually when they get to their first class constable rate or that classification, then they start looking into, hey, what other opportunities are out there? And I can tell you, there's hundreds of opportunities. Every time I go look on the internal job posting on the OPP website, I find there's so many jobs that I never even thought are available to a police officer that you can try out and do, because it's just so unique. And I think that's one of the biggest draw to the OPP. I find just the opportunities available because we're a provincial service that we're able to offer, and also the ability for people to move around within the province.
Right.
You can essentially start off in the GTA, maybe work for a few years, and maybe you think, you know what? Maybe I want to go up north somewhere, really reconnect with nature. You can absolutely do that. You can put in your transfer, move up north, enjoy the benefits of the low cost of living, because that's a huge incentive, as we all know nowadays. And you can take advantage of that. And once you're done, if you want to come back to the GTA again, because the amazing food we have in GTA, you miss that and you want to come back down again.
As you're saying this, I remember a fishing trip that I went on to years ago to a place called Chapleau.
Yes, yeah.
Which is about 11 hours north. Yeah. Something. It was great fishing. But anyways, when I went down there, I just have this very clear image, and I saw. How I know this is I saw an OPP officer down there. I'm like, oh, okay, so the OPP are down here. Yeah. But it's not like you see much there. The communities are very small. Yeah. And I saw him the next day, and he was just jogging. And I thought to myself, wow, look at this. Like you're in this nature, you're jogging, and it's a different vibe. So that's amazing that you have the ability to kind of move around. When someone's first coming in, is it similar to, like, for example, the RCMP, where if I apply, you can put where your areas that you'd like to be in, but they can they'll put you where the need is? Yeah.
So how we work is when you apply and you go through this hiring process, you're able to select 6 detachments of your choice, and you can rate them from number 1 to number 6.
Okay.
And essentially, when you go to the final hiring stages of the process, our coordinators will look at what you've asked for in terms of where you want to be placed, and then also looking at where the organization's needs are. And then they'll marry it up. So if you're looking for, say, example, Toronto detachment is your number 1 choice, and we have openings in Toronto detachment, that's a great pair. So we will marry that up, and we'll offer you that because it meets the needs of the detachment, it meets the needs of the candidate. For example, maybe if you put Toronto but there's no openings in Toronto, then we'll go to your second selections, and maybe your second selection is Aurora, and there's a need for Aurora. Now that's a great match, so we'll give you your second spot. So we really, really try to work with the candidate and what they have asked. Because like I said, we want to make sure we're setting them up for success. In this career, there's a lot of challenges, and you got to make sure you have the right supports, not only in the workplace, but when you finish work, when you come back home, you have the right people there that are going to be supporting you, that's going to listen to you. So that's something that we truly, truly believe in, and it's worked great. I think in the past class, recently that just went in, we have over 95%, 98%, I think, in terms of candidates getting one of their top 6 selections. So
wow.
Yeah, so the myth about OPP randomly post people, it does not happen. We really try to work with you, and even if there's a spot that we can't give you, we come back and work with you to ask for 3 more so that we can give you something else.
That's amazing. I love everything I'm hearing right now. Many people apply, as we know, to the services. Right now there's a huge drive for every service to look for people, and one of the things that we always tell people is that you gotta have the edge. You gotta have a little bit. You gotta be able to demonstrate why you're different than someone else, because it's a very competitive market.
Yeah.
Let's call it that, the X factor. What in your opinion, Prash, should someone do to make themselves desirable, to make themselves stand out above the rest? What should they do?
So you know what? One of the things we ask in our interviews, as I'm sure many police services ask, is why do you want to be a police officer? Articulate to us why you want to be a police officer. Like, what have you done to become a police officer, right? So we're looking for all your intangibles, right? Your motivation, things that you've done, whether it's from a training perspective or even an experience perspective. So for example, many people relate, working in a security job to get that experience, dealing with people, or having those type of roles as an experience in terms of skill set, right? So we're looking for that. We're looking at also what sort of different customer service skills do you have? Like, have you worked like in like McDonald's? That's a go workplace. You know what I mean?
Team driven as well.
Yeah, and team driven. You got to work with people. You're dealing in a high, fast paced environment, because those are all, like, I'm just using McDonald's as an example, but there's many other restaurants and places you can work where that is also shown. So if you work in a place like the high stress, high fast environment, that is something that you're going to experience in our line of work. So if that is a place where you have gone through it, but you weren't stressed out about it, you enjoyed it, and you were able to resolve problems, you're probably setting yourself in the right path when you come over to our workplace. Because we're going to give you the training and the confidence to make sure you're successful. But that ground level, grassroots experience is probably going to help you. And right away, we look at your communication. You got to be able to talk to people the right way. I think, we carry a lot of equipment, right? But I'm a true believer. The biggest equipment that we carry is right here, right? You can resolve so many issues with this right here. And I'm a believer in it because it's happened to me many times. 100%. And I'm sure you probably can relate to it, because this can either escalate a situation or really de-escalate and really resolve it. And I think this is something that we even have so much training on when our candidates go to the Provincial Police Academy in Aurelia. We really do a lot of virtual reality training, scenario training, because we want to make sure that we're setting them up. If they're going to make any mistakes, we want them to make it there, not in the real life situation. So I think this is a huge thing, especially your communication skills, because that can really, really help you down the line.
And it literally chooses the outcome. I mean, you can respond like this, even with your body language, and that's going to take one outcome, or you can completely dissolve it. And to me, what I love about what you're saying right now is, like, the art of communication really is everything. It really is. The other thing that you mentioned about, for someone that may have a job at McDonald's, and they may think, well, maybe that's not good enough. Maybe these are examples that I can't pull from. And I find people generally, their mindset works against them, and they disqualify themselves, maybe insecurities, whatever. I think it's so important to realize that pull from life experiences. Don't just give the generic answers. Why do you want to be a police officer? Because I want to serve the community. Put more depth to your answer. Like, just start your opening intro as for you coming into this country at the age of 10, navigating it, applying yourself, jobs that you did. Like, these are things that you're doing that, as we like to use the word, you're articulating in very clear fashion why you wanted to get into the zone.
And that's I think you hit it right on the head there. Like, you're right. Like, people have so many experiences and things that they've done, but they're thinking, oh man, like, maybe that's not good enough. I don't maybe meet the threshold, which is further from the truth. Like, you know what I mean? Because I think you even talked about earlier, if you have the right motivation, you have the right passion, and you have the right heart for this role, you'll be successful in it, because, like, the training aspect will take care of all that. But all the other intangibles that we can't teach you, and where you come from, or all those other things, that's what's going to set you apart, and that's what we want. We want to be able to be representing the communities that we serve, and we want to have different people from different walks and different experiences reflecting that. So when you're out there, people can really see themselves in the police officer that show up to a call, or that they deal with. You know what I mean? And that's what we're really, really trying to do every time, even from a recruitment perspective. And that's why we want to come out here, do these events, and even the event that we're going to have on May 18th, we want to kind of expose people that maybe have never thought about policing as a career choice or even a second career. We want to be able to say, hey, look, have you ever thought about this?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Don't just like discard it. You know what I mean? So I hope that happens with that situation.
100%, Prash. The one thing I want to say about you specifically right now is that we've met twice. This will be our third time right now. And the one thing that I can say is that, you've mentioned words like, I love this, I've been so fortunate and luckiest guy. I love that you're saying this, because you know what that means to me is you love your job, and you have a very much desire and a passion to actually do what you're saying. It's not something that you're just saying. You can tell when someone's being disingenuous. I can really tell that it's like bursting in your energy. And I love that, because that is what I think is so important, that people, when they listen to this or watch this, that is literally the heart and representation of a protector. And you chose a path to kind of work in right now that kind of, like, you do it, you're passionate, you love it. you're like the poster guy, man, for the OPP to do that, because, and I know you have a lot of incredible recruiters as well.
Yeah,
within the
absolutely. Yeah,
OPP.
my colleagues are wonderful. Yeah.
But to me, I think it's amazing that you have this heart, and I really do feel that there's a lot of people out there that can connect to that.
Absolutely.
Because this is not just a job. And I tell this to our people, because a lot of them have desires to get into policing. If you look at this as just a job, I'm going to get a good pension, I'm going to get benefits, you're most likely going to fail because it's just a job to you, right?
Yeah.
But if you do something because it's in your heart, I want to do this because I'm going to help. And truly, when I say I'm not just saying the jargon words, I want to help the community. When you truly apply that, this is when magic happens, man. So just from me seeing you and hearing you, I just want to say thank you for what you're doing, man.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with what you're saying there, because you're right. I think if you pursue this career for the money aspect of it, or the pension or the benefit and all that, I don't think it'll be very challenging to get through many years in this career. I certainly do believe so. But I think if you approach it for the right reasons, you will be successful, not only from a work perspective, but overall happiness in your life and feeling that reward of what you're doing. I think you'll get that, because many of us pursue happiness in many ways, including in our work too. Many people, want to experience that in their work life too. And I think you'll certainly get that if you approach it from the right mindset and you're applying it for the right reasons.
Yes.
And I appreciate you saying those comments, because like when I go to the detachment, get ready, I'm putting on my uniform, and sometimes you're running out because you're busy, but sometimes you kind of catch yourself and you walk by a mirror and you're looking, and then sometimes I see that I look at myself and I'm like, man, like, has it been 10 years? Like it's been 10 years and I still have the same like happiness. I'm like, wow, like, yeah, man, like, this is great.
That's amazing,
you know what I mean? Like don't get me wrong, there's definitely there's challenges sometimes. There's times where there's frustration and you're like, man, like, oh, that was not, but every day is a reset and then you go on, right? So far, yeah, it's been great, man. It's been really, really good. And so I appreciate those words. Yeah.
Amazing, man. Look, one of the big things that we're very, very excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Is Police Week.
That's right. Yeah, let's talk about that.
So I'll be honest, as much as I've been immersed in police culture and everything that we do with our organization, I'm going to be the first to admit that I was not aware that there was a police week.
Yeah.
So when I first heard about it, I thought, okay, this is incredible. So we have a facility called the Arena. It's our law enforcement / security facility. And when we kind of got word that Police Week was happening and what you guys were planning on doing, we thought it'd be such a cool collaboration to have the Ontario Provincial Police, the OPP, come down and basically showcase and what they do. So why don't you give us a little bit of I guess some information on what we can expect.
Yeah, so we're very, very excited for May 18th, 2023 to hold a Police Week event. Obviously, thanks to your support, allowing us to use your facility to have the event there. Certainly, we'll send out all the info about the details coming up in the next few weeks. But you know what? It's a great event that we're really looking forward to, because I don't want to give too much info about it, because we want to certainly have our people when they show up to really experience it. But we have different events that we've catered throughout the morning. We'll be there from 10 to 2 for our candidates, and we've kind of broken up into different sections. But what I'm really hoping that we get out of it is the people that do show up to the event, they get one exposure to us as an organization, what we're about, and what you can truly get in different areas of policing within the OPP. So we will have our civilians there. We will have our special constables there. We will have our auxiliaries there. We will have frontline officers that work in your everyday role, like when you become a recruit and you go to a detachment, what it's like. So we're going to have our new officers that are on the job for the first year, or they're still on probation. We're going to have them there, but we're also going to have officers that are in very different specialties that are going to be there too. We're still working on finalizing some of these specialties, so I don't want to confirm them yet, but certainly I don't think you'll be disappointed when you show up to see to see the different areas that will be represented within the OPP.
And on top of that, they'll have an opportunity to actually see the prep test circuit.
Yes.
To kind of familiarize themselves with that, to how they can navigate for the physical component.
Yeah, so we're gonna definitely, thanks to you, we're gonna have the prep test circuit there, so you can see and actually try out the machines there to see what it's like.
Right.
We're gonna have recruiters there that are gonna go over the whole, hiring process in terms of what's required for the hiring process. Having like a streamlined version of our information session, and with the news that came out from the provincial government this week, what better way for us to, in terms of lead up to this. Certainly, finding out that the fee for the Inter-Police College will be bypassed and no one has to ever pay that fee.
And that right now, just so for those that are listening who never knew this before, every individual that gets an offer from a service has to pay for their training, room and board, which approximately, I believe, is 15 grand.
Yeah.
Roughly around that. Now that has been waived right now.
That's right.
And on top of that, another announcement was that just some limitations for those that may have had a difficult time getting post-secondary education as a prerequisite for some services are now going to be able to pretty much out of high school have the opportunity to apply.
Yeah, like the removal of the OPC, Interior Police College fee, the tuition fee.
Yes,
it's a game changer because it really, really helps a lot of people that maybe want to enter this line of work, but maybe financially just could not stomach that fee. So having that removed it's amazing because many people that would have seen that as a barrier now it's not anymore. It's so removed, and yes. I think certainly it's great. So because many people have a lot of requirements, a lot of things from a financial perspective that they're obligated to take care of. Now that's done. Obviously, high school requirement was our basis, and now some people still they would feel like maybe they need to go get post-secondary or anything like that to make themselves competitive. And again, that's their choice, but you don't need to do that. Right. High school is what we're looking for. And certainly one of the other announcements was starting in 2024, we're going to have 4 intakes compared to 3 at the Interior Police College.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can imagine the amount of candidates that we will be putting through.
Yes.
There'll be 1 more intake that we will be doing. And this past intake in April, we put 130 candidates through.
Wow.
So you can imagine how that looks like for 4 intakes a year.
Right.
So it's never been a better time to consider this career, pursue this career, and potentially coming to take that role on with us. So, whether you apply to us or the municipal services, you'll all be applying to the same team.
Yes.
You'll just be wearing a different uniform,
right.
a different color. So
right.
I hope many people do consider it, and many hopefully attend our session on May 18th. At the arena.
Yes.
Amazing facility, by the way.
Thank you.
We had a nice walkthrough with you there, and it's just an amazing setup. And certainly we're really looking forward to having the event on May 18th there for Police Week.
Amazing. For somebody that's listening to this, that is going to come out to this, and it sounds to me like it's going to be a pretty spectacular event.
If you've never considered it, just come on by. There's no cost to you. Just a few hours of your time can really expose you to something that maybe you have never considered. And if you see everything, if you go through everything and you're like, what, maybe it's not for me, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just more knowledge that you have surrounding you. But please do come out. We will be posting the links for you to sign up. It's actually up right now where you can sign up.
Yes.
So please go on our website and our social media platforms.
Yeah, throw those links out again.
Just go on opp.ca/careers, OPP_hire for our social media platforms. And then you'll see the links there for you to be able to sign up to these events. So you have to sign up. And there is a limited space availability.
Okay.
So certainly when the spots are full, we won't be able to increase it because of just the capacity limits of it. But certainly right now, I checked this morning, about half the spots are gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully you'll be able to do it. But like I said, we're really looking forward to it, and I'm sure. I really hope the weather cooperates because we want to have our stations outside with our specialties for them to share their highlights. So hopefully, I'm sure it will. But
April showers brings May
flowers. That's it.
We're going to be believing in faith.
We should be all right. So so looking forward to it. Like I said, April 18th. at the arena.
Okay, that's amazing. And for those listening again who are planning to come down, my words of advice or my words of wisdom would be, this will be a first impression. So bring out the best, come out, ask questions, and to me, at the end of the day, I think it's a great opportunity to really connect. Many people that look to get into any profession, but we're focusing on the police service right now, I always encourage them, really learn the job, really understand it. And you know what? This is going to be a great opportunity for anyone coming out to really understand and learn their job, have conversations, to get an idea, hey, is this something that I can do?
Yeah.
And if you do have that protector DNA from within that wants to help others, man, there's no better way. I really, really wanted to thank you, man, for doing this. I really appreciate all this effort that is being put into just showcasing what you guys do. I actually have quite a few friends that are serving with the OPP, and they've always told me their experiences have been incredible.
Yeah.
When I got out of college, Prash, in 1999 at Seneca King City, a good friend of mine right away at the age of 19 got on. And I remember like the OPP was one of those things. But to me, I've always heard such incredible things about the service. And I'm very, very much happy that you guys have been able to kind of come out today and kind of preach it out. I think it's going to be a really good one. Any last words for somebody listening right now that is listening to this and they may be having just doubts internally, meaning as in they check off the marks of like, I like to help others, I like to do this, but there's just something that maybe is saying, I don't know, holding them back. Am I right for this? Can I do this? What would you tell that person?
Yeah. So a couple of things there. Maybe you've never researched anything about policing or how you get into the process or what the application, all that stuff. First, even if you want to show up at our event on May 18th, just take maybe an hour or two, just go to opp.ca/careers, just look at what we have there. And one of the biggest things I would ask you to do is look at the frequently asked questions. We've covered off a lot of info there in terms of maybe you haven't even thought about yourself before coming into this career. Have a read of it, because what that will do is it'll really trigger some of your thoughts, some of the things that you never considered, that you can come to our event on May 18th and talk to us about. Maybe some fears, maybe some concerns, maybe some things that maybe, you're thinking, hey, can I manage some of the, responsibilities that I have in my personal life? Can I manage that with this new career that I want to pursue? All valid things that you should consider. But instead of stopping to think, oh man, where do I go get these answers? Come to us and come talk to us, because I was in the same predicament as many of these candidates, being on the outside, looking in, not knowing what it's going to be. And I had to kind of navigate, get help, understand. And now I'm in a position where I can kind of relay that info and share that life knowledge, the work knowledge that I've gained working for the OPP for the 10 years. And I would happily share all that with you and tell you, hey, these are the challenges based on what you're telling me that you're going to have. And this is how you can address it. This is how you can deal with it. And that gives you a much better perspective, where if you had to go speak to your partner or your spouse to understand, hey, this is what they told me. What do you think? Can we pull this off? Do you think this could work for our family? If so, great. Follow up with more questions for me later on. Call me after the event. I'll be more than happy to give you my work email and phone. I'm really good with getting back and interacting.
Amazing.
Because sometimes it's not something very black and white where you can just say, yes, I'm going to go, because there's all these other things that are impacted by this decision. And you got to consider all those things. You know what I mean? So the more you know, the better informed you are, the better it is for you and your family and anything else that you're dealing with. Because we all have many things happening in our lives, and you want to make sure you want to make the right decision. So absolutely, it's all valid. Even those thoughts that you're feeling, they're all valid. But just try to get the info, and we're here to give you that info. And then based on that, if you think, yes, you know what, I've crossed my T's and dotted my I's, I'm going to give it a shot, I would love to help you out with it.
Good. Well, look, I really want to thank you, Prash, for coming on the show. Police Week, May 18th at the Arena. It's going to be a great day. And again, in honor of Police Week, I do want to say thank you to you and to every police officer for doing what you guys do, and I think it's very commendable. It's very much needed, and we fully support it. Now, just very off topic before we close the show, just because we did our background on you as well, and you're a basketball fan, an avid basketball fan. Who is going to win the NBA playoffs?
You know what? Like, yeah. So just let's touch on the basketball. So yeah, like I'm a huge basketball. I think basketball was a saving grace for me. You know, I grew up in the Don Mills and Eglinton area. That's where I grew up.
No way. I grew up in Flemington Park.
That's where I grew up. Flemington Park. That's where I grew up.
All right, we're gonna have some off-topic conversations.
So I grew up in Flemington Park. You know, I was at Van Dome playing basketball all day, every day. You know, through my high school life, and I think it was a saving grace for me. It kind of, you know, kept me on the path away from things that you can get distracted in high school. You know, I was on the high school basketball team. You know, my thing was I wasn't the biggest guy, but I was quick. I can shoot. You know what I mean? I was.
You went to Mark Garneau?
I went to Mark Garneau. I went to Mark Garneau. I was part of the Garneau Cougars there. We were good. So you know, when I went to York, I thought, you know, I can try out. So I went and tried out. Man, they were tall, man. They were like 6'6", 6'7".
Right.
I didn't make the team, but I really want to get on the team. I really want to be part of that atmosphere. And I remember, you know, when the coach was giving the pep talk, he was talking about a position that was open for the team manager. And I'm like, that's my shot right there.
Okay.
So I applied for the spot. I got on as a team manager, so I was there for the first 2 years. And, you know, a lot of skills that I learned in that position, being a team manager, because you're responsible for the team travel. You're responsible for the pre-game, post-game, you know, prep. There's so much practices. Like, there's a lot of organizational skills, dealing with the team, the members on your team, the coaching staff. A lot of those skill sets that I was obtaining back then, I didn't know, but it's helping me right now in my role now.
Such a transferable skill.
Yeah, and many people are doing the same thing in all these different jobs and things that they have. It helps you later on down the line. So, yeah, it was a great experience, and you know, I'm a huge, you know, fanatic when it comes to basketball. I actually ref basketball too.
Nice.
But you know, when it comes to the whole talk about who the GOAT is, come on, man, Jordan, hands down, man.
Come on. All those LeBron lovers. That's good.
But man, it was, you know, Jordan. I think Jordan 12 is my first ever Jordans that I ever bought in high school, and I felt like the man, you know, walking into grade 7 with my Jordan 12s.
Amazing.
The black and whites. Sorry, the red and whites actually.
The red and whites.
Red and whites. It was just great. But you know, I'm just looking at this year. Obviously, when you was walking, there's a huge shockers there with the Milwaukee getting kicked out.
That's right.
But yeah, I just it's a great way for even to just interact with people on different topics. Yes, I'm a police officer, I'm a recruiter, you know, we talk about that, but there's so many other things that is behind the badge in terms of who we are as people.
That's right.
And you'll get an experience to see that, I think, at our event on May 18th when you meet some of us. Certainly, it kind of exposes you to the human element of the people that do this job, that are in this career, you know, that are out there to serve the people.
So good, man. And you're not the first person in a police capacity that has tied sports to basically performance and transferable skills. So that is amazing. Prash, I mean, again, there's the more and more we can talk, we can spend another hour just going on. But
exactly.
I do want to thank you for what you're doing and for representing the OPP today. And Police Week, again, May 18th. I cannot wait for that. We're going to also capture some of that. Outside of that, any closing words?
No, I just look forward to seeing everybody there, and I just want to thank you and your team for the opportunity.
Thank you
for having me here today, and obviously giving us the opportunity to work with you for May 18th for the Police Week. So looking forward to it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, everyone, and just have a fantastic day. Take care, everybody.
This podcast is brought to you by Executive Protection Lifestyle Canada. Make sure to drop by next week and don't forget to subscribe.